Hey there everyone! Today I wanted to share with you a beginner's version of the video I created the other day about syncing your display. I had a lot of questions about, like what are the steps ahead of all that? How do you even get there? So I figured I would just show you a quick version of how to create, dropping all your clips or your decorations into one movie, one continuous file, so you aren't having to select each file every night on your projector. And then also just a quick way of how you can layer, and then you could always use the other video that I created the other night to follow up on that, and I'll be sure to link that if you don't know what I'm referring to. So let me get started. I will show you. I'm not going to start with the library I already created. I'm going to start from scratch. So we'll go to File, New. We're going to create a new library. And I'm just going to name this Test for now. So your new library will look like this. It creates 2 event folders, one for Smart Collections, one for Today's Date. I'm going to get rid of Smart Collections. I don't want it, so I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to rename Today's Date with whatever I'm going to call this project. So, I'm sorry, this event. So I'm going to call this my main show, like I did in my Halloween folder or library. So I have all these that are representative of my projector, like what I'm playing on it. So my main show is the one that I actually have multiple layers in. So I'm going to show you like a small version of how I do this, okay, with this tutorial. So first things first, sorry, we'll go back to here. With this new library or event, I have to add media. So I'm going to click the Import Media, go to wherever you have your digital decorations saved. I'm just going to pop in a few of them. So we'll do some bone chillers. I did that fast, so let me do that again. So I'm going to do, okay, now that the import media is gone from here, if you want to add additional media, go to File, Import Media, and as I did before, I navigated to the folder I wanted, and I forgot to mention that on the last one, so I'm going to say it now. I'm just going to click on the ones I want. You could also preview a file in here if you're not sure if it's the one you want. You can kind of skip around to it and press play from that point. So I'm going to pick both of these. I'm going to pick this one, Command, select the other one. You can do either Import Selected or just press Enter. And so now my media is over here. I'm going to add just a few more. Let's do boop. So I'm just going to add all these just for quick. So if you want to add them all, do Command A, either import all or hit Enter. So now all my media is in here. All right, so now I want to create a project within here. So I'm going to create a new project. And this just identifies that this project is going to go in the event that I created for main show. So I'm going to hit OK. And this pops up. It says it's untitled, and I generally will name it whatever I've named this, but we can leave it at, you can name it whatever. I'm going to leave it unnamed for now, but if you just click on it, you can rename it. So to get started, you just want to drop pieces of your media, your clips, into the timeline. So if you want to select the entire thing, right now when I did that, it's only selecting a portion of it. So if you want to select the entire piece, just go on either side, drag, and select it all. I'm going to drag this right here. Then I'm also going to use, okay, so this one ends up being a long one. Oh, let me show you something also. When I've dropped this in here, then if it's being used in your timeline, it has this orange bar. Had I selected just a portion would be, so I'll show you like how that would look. So I'm going to just do a portion on this one. And I'm going to drag it down here. And now you can see that only the orange line appears where the selected clip, what you put down here. Now, if I come down to the timeline, I realize, you know what, I actually want all of that. I can click on this and just drag till it stops, so that'll select all of it. Now you can see that this orange line indicates that the entire front part of this is used. Same thing, click over here, drag, and now all the clip is selected. So I'm going to select this one, put it down there, and you can actually, let's see, if you know you want to use all these, you can do the same thing. Select the first one and then shift and then go down and select the last one. You want to drag them all down here. And that'll be a quick way to have them be one at a time, back to back, instead of just dragging one at a time. So that's it. Like, say this is all the files you wanted to use, you wanted to use on a illusion or whatever the case. All of your files are now going to be one continuous file. No more selecting these 9 clips separately on your projector. So what you would do at this point, if this is all you wanted to do, you would go to File, Share, Export the file. And you name it whatever you want. I'll call this my test illusion. And I'm just going to put it down here as well. And then I'm going to do next and save it wherever I want. So I'm going to save it. I save all my movies, or my full-length movies, in a folder called full-length movies, and I name it based on like where I'm going to use it. So I'm gonna leave it here, and I'm going to press save. And up here, if you look at the circle, this is actually your status of like the time it takes to complete the export. So once that circle is full, then it's done, and you also get a pop-up that's saying it's done. But before, while that's doing that, I actually wanted to show you how to layer real quick. If you wanted to do like I have in my synced video, if you want to try to sync, you want to try and time your projections. If you want to do 3 different projections and you want your pumpkins to be singing first, and then you want your garage to have the witch sing after the pumpkins sing, and then maybe you have a window that you want to it's going to do dancing, and you want that music to be heard third. So you want to sync them in a way visually so your eye follows the audio. So in order to layer, I'm going to actually put in the exact same ones, just for quickness and sake of ease. So I'm going to select all of my same clips again, and just simply drag them on top of this other layer. That's it. Now you have 2 layers. You can go through this and change the audio. For example, say I want the bone cage to be my first audio that plays. So I'm going to leave this audio the way it is, but I'm going to turn this one down. And technically these are the same, but you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to turn this down so that when I go to export these, this is the primary audio that's going to be playing first. This will still be playing on whatever other projector I want, but I've turned down the audio now. And you don't even have to turn it all the way down. You can just turn it down a smidge, but play with that and see how you want it. And then I want my second projector. I want it to sing after this one plays, but again, I want a video on this one, but the audio on this one. So I would come down to this layer, drag that down. So now you can see your audio is going to be here, your audio will be next, and you'll continue that process with whatever projections you want to be the primary source of audio. So let me add one more layer, but first I'm going to add in some of the pumpkins. So I'm going to import my pumpkins. I'm going to pick the pumpkin. Okay, I'm going to do a trio buffer file, and then I need to go back and add the songs. All right, I'm going to add all these. All right, so now I'm going to add one more layer, and it's going to be all the, well, first, let me show you the buffer. All right, so I'm going to drag this like I showed you for my first layer. I want the pumpkins to start when the other projections start as well, but they're not going to be singing yet because remember, this is my first one that's singing, even though technically it's not singing, it's just the audio at this point. Then this one, and then I'm probably going to want the pumpkins to start singing right about here. So I'm going to continue adding this buffer file all the way to the point where I want to add in my songs. And this is what the buffer file looks like. It's just some flickering. So I'm going to keep adding that. Oops. I don't need to replace it, but I'm going to keep adding it. Oops. All right. I'm going to copy these so I can just keep doing this. All right, and then see, I go a little bit too far, so I'm going to trim this to right where I want to start. You could technically leave it, it wouldn't matter because your audio is going to stop right here. You might want to give yourself a little wiggle room and let that run, but it's kind of close enough. So now I'm going to go in and add the rest of my singing pumpkins. I'm going to click the top one, and then shift. Last one, I'm going to drag them all right there. Oops, I screwed it over. Okay, there we go. So now I've completed all my layers. We're going to say hypothetically that I'm going to turn this audio down because at the point that I want these to sing, I don't want this audio, nor do I want this. But remember, you'll do this throughout. You'll go all the way through the rest of your clips. If you want, at this point, you know, the pumpkins to sing, and then you want to add another more buffer files in and let this be your primary audio and down and so forth, add some more buffer files in while your other layers are the primary audio source. Then real quick, I want to show you for now, if you play all these right now, you will hear all the audio for every single layer. So this is a good a way to guide you to make sure some other layers aren't going to be too loud. You can then, or maybe you want them to be a little bit louder so they can be just like a secondary lower audio. If you are using the funny faces or the scary, the pumpkins scaring each other in Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree 2, you can leave that audio up. It's not going to be so interfering if the witch is singing on the garage. So if you press play, you'll hear where the audio is as you've created it. So I have the audio primary right now. So this is what I can hear even though I can't see it. Remember, because I've layered, so I'm only going to see this top layer, but the audio for down here. So that is all. Actually, let me jump here and so you can see There's going to be a little skip because I don't. So then that's how it'll go. I will send a link for my syncing the show. It kind of picks up from this point. So you know how to export these individually, and then that way it gives the illusion that you have a synced show because you've exported these files separately, and then you'll play them each night on your projector by starting them individually. So I hope this helps. A little bit of a quick version, so if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Something good to eat, 'cause if you don't, you will despair as we serve up a very special scare. Yeah, goblins enjoy making